to share a person who is called Sean Sherman. And before we begin, I want to invite you guys to close your eyes and just try to recall what you usually eat for your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner. You can just recall what you just eat yesterday. Yeah, so I guess you have already. And I want to ask a question. How many ingredients in the meals you had are from native Taiwan? Notice that it is native Taiwan, not from any of the colonists like Netherlands, Japan, or China. So I guess you have your answers in your mind, and I'm going to tell you guys my answer. My answer is just only one, the Taiwan's pork. Yeah, so it's maybe a little bit confused because we are in Taiwan, but the foods we mostly eat are not really from Taiwan. So here is our culture and here is our history. Then I think this question may be solved by Sean Sherman. Sean Sherman is a chef who is dedicated his career in supporting the indigenous cuisine. So I will introduce him with a little bit briefly introduction of his childhood and his motivation, and also the effort he had done, the influence he had made, and also I will give my conclusion and reflection. So now you are looking at the introduction of Sean Sherman. I think you may have a question, who is Sean Sherman? I never heard of this name, yeah. So I think this question may come to a lot of different answers. He is a chef, and he is a restaurant owner, he's a cookbook author, and also a promoter of indigenous cuisine, and also a co-founder of Natives. So this achievement all can be dated to his childhood. He is a member of Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe, which is the traditional tribe in the middle of America. And he's just like other people, just growing up and going to work. But because of his tribe had a war with America a long time ago, so he can just eat the government commodity food during his childhood. And one day when he is working in the restaurant, cooking food with the ingredient provided by the United States, one idea popped into his head. So what did my ancestors eat before the others arrived on our land? And this idea opened a brand new world to his life, and he started to find the value and origin of his own native culture and his own native cuisine. So let's move on to the effort, what he had done. He usually cooked based on the pre-colonial indigenous food systems. And this kind of system, which means he just cooked by the native ingredients from North America. And his menu is inspired by the season and land, which featuring traditional ingredients. Yeah, so it's very native, as you can see. And this is the ingredients that he usually uses. Like this is bison, and this is the hand-harvested rice. And other is some seasons you can see on the slide. And to promote his idea of cooking, he also launched a book called The Sioux Chef Indigenous Kitchen to tell much more people that how to cook with this kind of indigenous ingredients and try to promote these ideas to more and more groups. Oh yeah, and also this book won the 2018 James Beard Best American Cookbook. And this is some recipe in that cookbook. So these dishes are cooked from the ingredients I just mentioned in that slide. And have mentioned a lot of things he had done. We can have a roughly ideas that the Sean Sherman is want to promote the indigenous cuisine and also want to protect his own culture. But we can see his own goal more clearly. He wants to revitalize the indigenous food systems. And also he wants to build awareness of the importance of indigenous food of people. and want to keep the local economy and local culture and food sovereignty to the native people. So what influence he had made? We can see native. Natives is the, maybe you can say that like that, the Sean Sherman is the co-founder of Native. And the Native works to protect the indigenous food cuisine and also give some education and provide some training to the Native, make them to know how precious and how important to protect those ingredients that are from the native culture. Yeah, so by doing this, they believe they can not only solve serious problems like something like malnutrition and also the food-related illness. And also they can share this heritage to the communities and build a bridge and the power between different native communities. And also, indigenous food debt is the most important project that will be done by the natives. And this step is to create some different cuisine that are made from indigenous ingredients. And also, they will provide some training like here, and also film a video to teach people how to do this. And to make more people to taste this kind of food, Sean Sherman had a restaurant called Awami, and this restaurant only used the ingredients that are from Native America. So they don't use the maybe outside ingredient like butter, wheat, and sugar like that. So just very native. And also he had a very cool idea. It's Tatanka truck. It is a food truck. So the truck will provide many indigenous cuisine in this and will go around America. So it can share these ideas to the more areas and also can make people to taste this. And Sean Sherman also get to be a test speaker to share a topic, why aren't there more Native American restaurants? So he shared his perspective of indigenous cuisine and also invite more people to donate that Natives Foundation and also know the perspective. So now come to the conclusion. Yeah, so to conclude, I think Sean Sherman saw a problem from the things what we usually used to, and we don't think more of them, but he think of it, and he truly did a lot of things to solve them. So through his hard work, Sean is helping to reclaim and celebrate the rich culinary heritage to the indigenous tribe around the world. So furthermore, he tried many ways to make this issue to expose to the public and try to share these ideas around the world. And he once said his opinion toward native cuisine. He said that is not a trend, it is a way of life. And it was so touched. Yeah, me, yeah. Yeah, so I think this is the reason why I think he would be a really influential and the person who deserve to be one of Time 100. And he also makes me think of my hometown, Taiwan. Taiwan is also a colonial country long time ago. And in this global generation, everything can be replaced very quick. So if we don't really care of our specialties and love our own country, it may be very possible that our culture may be replaced or lose one day. So I think the takeaway from Sean's story is to tell us to love and cherish the culture we have and try to do something to protect them if they are facing some serious problem. And remember how I introduced Sean Sherman at the very beginning. As I told you that he is a chef, restaurant owner, and cookbook author, promoter of indigenous cuisine, and co-founder of Natives. Yeah, he is, but I think he's more than that. And I don't think these titles can mostly represent him and can just you can just know the people with this kind of title. In my very deep heart, I think Sean Sherman is just a man who really loves his hometown with his whole heart. So this is my presentation. Thank you.
Good. So can we start with any questions or comments? Yes.
What Taiwanese food do you like the most?
It's a hard question. You mean native Taiwanese food?
Yes.
I like noodles. 凉面 cold noodles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Sean Sherman to introduce?
Because I'm a person who really like to taste delicious dishes. So I think while we are tasting the delicious food, we may also think of the story behind this and try to reflect it. Because the foods, yeah, it's just food, but you can see the story and some history and maybe some fight behind the food. So it's a very good topic to make us think from our daily life. Yes.
Do you have you considered being a chef?
No, because I'm a very bad cooker. I can share a story with you. Yesterday, I want to eat instant noodle, and I put spicy speck, the package, some spicy in the noodles, and I went to have hot water. And after I unpack my instant noodle, yeah, after 3 minutes, and I saw there are 2 more packages in the instant noodles. Yeah. Yeah.
From my perspective, I think that the talent is not the most important thing to make you a chef. I think if you have a lot of passion, you can be a decent cook. So will you consider being a chef again?
Yeah, I will consider it. Yeah. Thank you for your advice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which kind of ingredients you consider that can represent the Taiwanese, the Taiwanese original food?
马告.
Macau.
Yeah.
Which cuisine would you like to try in his cookbook?
I think this one. This is kind of a hamburger, but it's not really are. And also, it's kind of rice hamburger, but the rice are hand harvested, so I think it's very cool. And the hand harvested rice is like this. This is the rice. Yes.
Good. So any others?
Sure.
How does he make sure that the ingredients coming from the USA?
You mean the United?
Yeah, because he said that he advised that we can use the ingredients in the America more.
Oh, you mean the ingredient that he used when he cooking? Oh, because the natives left. Wait a minute. Yes, the foundation of natives also have a system that can provide foods. So the foods they are just from the tribe, or they just cultivated by themselves. Sure.
Like in these years, the first class working people are dropping. Like not really many people want to do something like fancy. And what happens if locals don't want to plant and they can only export from other countries, and this concept cannot be yes.
I think, yeah, it might be a very serious problem if it happened. But Sean Sherman is a man who have a really strong ideas. Yeah, so he tell his tribe, and he also uses Native Foundation to help the native people. So I think during this process, the native people can also touched by him and also know it is very important to cherish the things they have, and it cannot be easily discarded. Yes.
Would you like to apply for a job in this company?
Do you want to write a recommendation letter for me?
Sure, if I can.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I think thank you for sharing this very interesting chef. I think as you said, because he insists on using indigenous food ingredients, so I guess he has to work with some indigenous farmers, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder, I mean, so is that easy to find qualified indigenous farmers in his own hometown?
How do you mean by qualified? You mean some organization and give them some certification, or?
Yeah, I mean, because to produce indigenous ingredients, you
Yeah.
need indigenous farmers to do that, right?
Yeah.
But it seems that there wasn't such a big market for that, so I guess maybe there were not many indigenous farmers in the past.
I know how you mean. I'm not really sure the answer to this question, but I can share my opinion with you. I think because we can see the area of yeah, it is not a very small area. So maybe a part of them are farmer of indigenous ingredients, but it will be a very huge amount. And also because the native are, yeah, he is running, but it's not very truly popular. Yeah, so I guess the customer are not that much to exceed the ingredients that this area can provide.
Maybe another question, I think because he really talks about the value of indigenous ingredients. I wonder what are the key, what are the sole ingredients in the so-called indigenous cooking? The most important ingredients.
I think it is kind of representation of our culture, because everything can change. Like maybe the mobile phone you are using now can be changed maybe 100 years past, and also maybe the microphone I'm using will broken, but I think the food will not be discarded and will not be. It's not very easy to disappear, because it has seeds and it just keep growing and growing, and you can leave it to your maybe your grandson and your grandson. Yeah, so it is not a thing that will disappear during the time passing. So I think you can see some story behind the food. Maybe it's the history of your own culture, and maybe it means something. Like I think I have a example. Maybe like a tea. Yeah, we all know that tea comes into Taiwan when the Qingchao. Yeah, so I think it can represent some colonial history of Taiwan, and also we can see how the tea support the Taiwan's economies. Yeah, so I think food are not just food. We can see some story from the food. Yeah.
What do you think that you can do for Taiwan's local tribe?
Wait a minute. I think to do something for a local tribe, maybe Because it's a very popular issue that the Aboriginal and something and people like us have a little bit resource gap between these two groups. So I think maybe I can be a volunteer, or maybe I can just speak out for the Aboriginal to make people to notice that there are a group of people in Taiwan and they are not have a very equal right with us.
Good. So, any more questions or comments? Yes. Go ahead.
I want to ask that sometimes the indigenous ingredients or the native food is much more expensive than the imported food. So have he mentioned about his point of view or solution toward this problem?
But I don't think the food he provides in the restaurant he owns are very expensive, because I have read his menu, and I think the price are not very expensive. It's just like the other dishes. So maybe, I think your question is possible that the indigenous food will be much more expensive, but I don't see the result in any of the maybe like menus or the running results. So maybe Sean Sherman want to promote this kind of dishes, so he don't want to make the price be the obstacles during this.
Very good. So, any others? Right, so if not, so thank you very much for sharing.